person. Speak normal.
Well, I was talking to my wife about like acting, and she's like, I mentioned,
relax.
Well, I mentioned like Louie C.K. was a fucking. I thought he was a pretty good actor. And she's like, "You think?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, he's really good." You know, because I think he just acts like himself.
Yeah. How he's being himself.
Well, yeah, he's just kind of he's fucking. I mean, I personally like him. I don't know. I think he's kind of polarizing at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you still fuck with Louie?
I mean, I enjoy him. I enjoy his comedy style. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
But I mean, of all the stuff that popped up, was all the stuff he got in trouble into. I mean, it's like
I'm not asking if you can know
that. Exactly, but I'm just
you know what I mean. Like, there's. I mean, anyway, we don't have to get into that, but it's like, I just re-downloaded his. He made a movie for 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. It was with Joe List, and they wrote it together. Kind of low budget independent film that he funded himself, and I really liked it, man. Mm-hmm. So I still watch his shit.
Louis C.K. put on a lot of great stuff. So
yeah, I'm rewatching his show. I got that because it's on his website. He released all that stuff. LouisCK.com, and you get it streaming like $30 for all the seasons. It's really good.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
like rewatching it, I forgot how
good of a writer in the show.
Not just he wrote it obviously, and he even edited it, did everything. But like, there's scenes with him and like a guy who's so good. He was really good in 4th of July. Is Robert Kelly. Mm-hmm. He's a comedian actor. I don't know if you're aware, but he's so talented, dude. And like, there's some scenes that are like really dramatic, but set in a comedic back tone with their mother. And anyway, dude, it's fucking really good. If you haven't seen it or like rewatch it, it's fucking.
So let me get this straight. My mother's married to a girl who's younger than me, and way hotter than any chick I've ever dated or ever will date in my life. Robbie.
I would think you'd be glad for me. Aren't you happy that your mother finally found love?
Finally found love? Mom, I've loved you my whole life. That's all I've ever done is love you, and you didn't even notice.
Come on, who doesn't love their mother? Jasmine loves me for me.
I love you for you. I love you for you, Ma. How many times did I told you I loved you? I try to remember when you said it to me, and I just can't.
No, I'm sure I said it.
When, Ma? When?
Hell yeah, Mac. Well, thanks for sitting down, dude.
Of course.
It's been fun already.
Yeah.
Goofing around.
I know, for real. I always like goofing around with you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Same here, dude. Yeah. Good hang at the comedy.
It's always the back and forth that we have. It's always fun.
Yeah, no, you're always a good sport. So did you grow up around here in Oxnard, or where did you grow up? You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grew up in Oxnard. I grew up over in North Oxnard, actually, over by St. John's Hospital.
Okay.
So the newer one. Off of like Rose and stuff. And I kind of that's kind of like where I kind of grew up.
What year were you born?
1992.
92.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was actually I was born in San Diego, and then whole thing I was adopted, and then the family that adopted me ended up moving to Oxnard in like 1995.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was in Oxnard from there on, and I haven't left since.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
So you grew up like. What do you remember like as a kid? Like the first thing. Like when you were like, at what age were you like watching TV or shows or anything like that? Like, what was the first? What was your first favorite movie? Do you remember?
First favorite movies or shows?
Either one. Like, what was the first thing you were like, dude, this is my jam?
I was all about cartoons growing up.
Okay.
All about cartoons.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon was
sure.
I was huge on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
Yeah, dude, I was born in '87, dude. So like we're probably a few years off. Like, but it's like I know what
Yeah.
So what was your favorite? Are you talking about Hey Arnold?
Rocko's Modern Life, Rocket Power. I was doing.
I don't know if I remember that.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog, yeah, I fucked with Cat Dog.
Cat Dog was solid.
Okay, yeah, that was a solid flick.
Yeah, that was a solid flick.
It was, dude. It was silly. I think it was in that realm.
It's weird.
Really weird, but like, I don't know if you see this is what I mean. The age of it was like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
dude. Like, and that was so strange and like. I don't think it would fly now. It's like
those
kid's
cartoons. I think I completely agree. Those would not fly right now.
Like it was edgy, like the '90s.
It's so edgy,
mid to edge,
so edgy.
Just with everything, like with films and cartoons, like the shit that was for kids. You wouldn't be for kids now. Let's say
it's different now,
right?
Yeah.
Like even Rocko's Modern Life had this very surreal, trippy I loved Rocco, dude.
That was my favorite.
Was the best.
Ren and Stimpy was also, like you said, was a great one. And then that's pretty much what I kind of grew up in. Oh, what's the dog? Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay,
That was on Cartoon Network.
I remember he was kind of like shaky.
Yeah, just anxious all the time, just crazy.
Yeah.
Like the grandfather was like all. He was just a bitter old man. Like,
I don't know. See that? I don't know if I got into that one as much. I remember that one for sure. But like Ren and Stimpy, even to this day, I remember watching some of the ones. I was like, wow, dude, they let us watch this.
Yeah, the writing in it was just so crass, I think. And it's like,
very much so.
You don't give crass material to kids nowadays, you know?
It's a lot more like sophisticated.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Like more like where Pixar. I mean, they ride that edge, but it was just more where. Let me ask you this: were you allowed to watch kind of whatever you watched, or were your parents kind of more on the ball?
No, so my parents were actually, they had a very interesting mentality growing up, and it was they had the mentality of just he's a kid, he wants to discover, so let him discover stuff. You know,
sick.
And they even did that with pornography. That was No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's like, can you imagine that? Like, here, here's pornography. Watch it.
Like, let me show you this.
Watch this.
Hey, little snake set you on the knee.
Like, who was
Let me show you
who's
this.
that guy's parents? I want to talk to
This is
guy.
called Two Chicks, One Dude.
No, but it was more of like, I think it was just more of like the sense of discovery of like, you know, if you're going to go to a library and you see a naked chick, that's life. That's what happens.
Got you. Yeah,
but you know how like parents are always sheltering their kids, or like we don't want them to like see pornography, or we don't want to see this or whatever, and have control. It's like he's going to discover this whether we like it or not.
I got you. So you're saying they would kind of like
they
sensitize you a little bit and be like, hey, this is a naked lady.
It wasn't like that. It was just more of like if he wants to explore. Like it was more so music. It was the big one was music.
That was a big difference. That was
big difference.
From boobies to
I know
turntables.
I went extreme.
You.
I'm very extreme.
I got you. No, my mom did. She was going to medical school.
Yeah.
Like when I was a little kid, so she had the medical books, and she would like sit us down and be like, "All right, this is the human body," and it was never like some hot chick. It was like some like some overweight middle aged lady. It was like. All right, Ma. You know what I mean? It was more weird and awkward.
It like
it was just showing
just kind of desensitizes a little bit everything, and it kind of makes it down more like it's
just a naked body.
Yeah, it's just a naked body.
Yeah,
whatever. It's not something to be crazy about.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So you weren't the only kid that got like shown. Like your mom was like, "Hey, I can get it, Mom."
There was a what was it? There was a party I was at when I was a kid, and my mom went to go pick me up. And there was a freak out moment from one of the other parents. And and the parent was like, how are you letting your son listen to this type of music? That's like offensive and all this other shit. And my mom was like, hey, he's going to figure it out on his own at some point. Like,
do you remember what it was?
50 Cent.
Okay.
Stuff
so
like
it's
that.
His first album?
Yeah, and it's like...
Get Rich or Die Trying. Phenomenal album.
Great album. Award-winning.
That's what I mean. I was like 14, you were 11, right? You were born 92, right? 5 years. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, that's a huge difference. So what happened? Tell me that story. So you brought it over to a friend's house. You were bumping,
and I was showing it. I had headphones, and I was showing it. And like, I think the parent in which I was hanging out with that kid, freaked out. It was like, how are you letting your son listen to this parental advisory music? And it's like,
you were how old? You said 11, 10?
Probably around that time, maybe.
That sounds about right. I want to be like maybe a freshman, and I was like 14 when that came out.
It's like
still a good album.
Yeah, my parents had a very blasé attitude about it, where it's like they're going to discover it on their own anyway.
To in that same vein, like you said, did you ever listen to Adam Sandler's albums?
No, growing up, you know what? I wasn't a huge fan of comedy growing up.
Oh, okay.
Because like my dad was huge on George Carlin.
Yeah, I grew up on with Carlin for sure.
And whenever I would like walk into the living room and I'd watch him laughing and stuff, and I'd watch a little bit of it, I'm like, I would walk away from it because I didn't get it. It was so, I think it was so forward thinking at my age group. I just didn't understand the humor in it.
That's what I mean. That his earlier stuff was more goofy, and I remember that, like the hippy dippy weatherman. That's how I was introduced. It was more goofy characters for a kid to like, because I fell in love with Carlin's just goofy noises and voices that he
did.
Okay, what you call your possum? Al Sleet here, you hippy dippy weatherman, with all the hippy dippy weather, man. Brought to you by Parsons Pest Control. Do you have termites, water bugs, and roaches? Well, Parsons will help you get rid of the termites and water bugs and help you smoke the roaches. temperature at the airport is 88 degrees, which is stupid, man, because I don't know anybody who lives at the airport. Now, if you'll take a look at our national weather map, you'll see that we don't have one. So try to picture last night's map in your mind.
Later in his life, I definitely understand what you're saying. Where it's like, as a kid, I felt that way about Seinfeld when I was a kid. Where it's like, because my family is all Jewish from back east, and they all moved to Florida. So that like premise of where the world of Seinfeld is like so close to my life.
Right.
Whereas like I just thought that I didn't understand why people thought it was funny.
Okay.
Because it was so close to my family.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I watch it and I'm like, oh, this is fucking genius. And I realize not everyone's family is Jewish.
Right.
And, like, and it is genius. Like Larry David and Seinfeld are fucking so funny.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's so real. Like as a kid, like to your point, it's like I couldn't tune into it because I'm just like, oh, this is just like hanging out at my uncle's or my grandma's in Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, to my point though was this your story about 50 Cent was like I gave a kid gave me Jeff Foxworthy's album, You Might Be a Redneck. Totally PC for everyone can listen to it, right? Kids, everyone. One of the best selling albums. It's funny. I gave him Adam Sandler's early shit, which is super vulgar and sexual. And the mom found it and like we got in trouble. But I didn't realize like that wasn't just, you know, to your point. And if you haven't heard Adam Sandler's, it's really vulgar and like not like his shit that he makes now. And it's so fucking funny, dude. That's classic. So let me ask you, you weren't into comedy. Like when did you get into to that? Like,
I got into comedy late. I got into comedy like around, like 23, 24. Late in the game. Like, well, I mean, obviously I watched stand-up growing up. Like
you did. Well, that's what I asked. Like, did you watch it? Like, who? So Carlin just.
You know what? My first influence to stand-up comedy, like first, like actually enjoying someone on stage telling a joke, was Pablo Francisco.
Oh, Little Tortilla Boy.
Little Tortilla Boy.
Dude, of course. Yeah, that's
and
great.
it was all the sound effects and what you would do. I had a friend of mine in high school who introduced me to him, and we started watching it. We started quoting it, and it was like, this is hilarious.
Of course.
And then I kind of from there kind of planted the seed, and then it kind of just went down this road of discovering more and more comics and what was possible with comedy. And then you start becoming a fan of comedy.
Pablo, you're talking about Pablo Francisco, who does like the bit about the movies, and he does that sort of. Okay, I was just thinking, I was like, did I get that totally fucking wrong?
No, but you did it. And
because he was huge, probably around this time that you're talking about. And I remember, that bit was just amazing.
It's, all of it. I mean, his ability to do the sound effects and going in and out of voices and really drawing the character to life. I thought that was really, really. It was very immersive, and I was like, I'm hooked. Yeah, and so again, going to that road, and then. So
you're like 14, you think?
Like 14, 15, 14, 15.
That's dope. Yeah. So when did you think that you want to do stand-up? Like how long did it take?
So probably 23, 24, I think. I was around that age. I was living with a roommate at the time. Okay. And that roommate was huge on drama and performing arts. Huge on it. Huge on it. And every time he talked about it, his eyes would light up. And I was like, that makes you really excited, huh? And he's like, yeah, dude, it's so awesome. You get to, like, be another character, all this stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I would go, and then he's like, if you ever are actually interested in wanting to do that, you should just take an improv class. I was like, okay.
You're still living around here?
I was living in this house.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, so I drove out to LA one summer, and I was doing, like, a 6-week course at the Groundlings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, let me just try to, like, see if I like this.
Yeah,
you know?
I've heard nothing but good things about Groundlings. Too.
I mean, Flo from Progressive has gone through the Groundlings. Dax Shepard has gone through the Groundlings.
Tom Segura.
Is he really? Melissa McCarthy.
Sam Tripoli.
Melissa McCarthy.
Wow, yeah. So, I mean,
big list of legends, dude.
Josh Duvendek, he's like, I went to high school with him, but I think he's an instructor there now. He's done movie work.
Wow.
Really cool dude. We played baseball together back in the day. Shout out to Josh.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a really fun, cool dude. And I think he's an instructor there now.
Wow.
Sent him a message, but I think he's kind of busy, dude.
Okay.
But he was in Ted, the first Ted at the end scene where they're doing that
knife
game. The guy that gets stabbed in the hand. That's Josh Duvendek.
Well, you never should have trusted me. I'm on drugs. You can punch
Yeah, he's been on Conan. He's been like Taco Bell commercials.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so I did the Groundlings.
That's sick.
And this is 6 weeks, and then I was like, so after you do an intro class, at the end of the intro class, they basically make you do an audition, and that audition sets you up. Can you go into the beginner course, or do you need to take another intro class?
Okay.
And so I took so I did the interview, or the audition, and he said, the instructor was like, I feel confident where you could jump into the beginner course, but also I wouldn't mind if you went to another intro. So you could do either one.
redid the intro?
I didn't redo it. I
got you.
I didn't want to keep driving back to LA, so I just stopped. I just stopped it.
Did you? So it was more like acting, though, right?
It was
That
more
like
acting based. It's more character based. It's more of
Sure.
like learning how to be present on stage and learning how to do yes and all those other beginner stuff. Holding things, stuff like
like
that.
Wayne Brady and
All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's
like
not
improv.
stand up.
Like
Yeah,
trying
it's
to think of the name of
improv.
that show. Like they were the best.
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
It's very much like that.
Right.
So the instructor, his name is Julian Grant. He's a great instructor. I've seen him in commercials and stuff.
Oh, cool,
He's
man.
really a
That's
great
what
actor.
it seems like. The people teaching you actually work.
Yeah, are actually working in the industry.
Right.
So he said, if you like being on stage, go find a stage somewhere and just go be on it. And I'm like,
Oh, that's cool.
interesting. Okay. And then I started thinking about, and then I had friends that were like, Mac, you're funny. Why don't you just try being on, go do stand up? I was like, okay, I'll try it. And then, and then 5-6 years later, here we are now.
That's cool, man. How's it go? Is there anything you want to plug or say before we get out of here?
Yeah. I guess we could do follow Macks Meals.
Macks Meals. Get fit.
To get fit, to get lean.
Get yummy. They're yummy. They're fucking delicious.
They are.
If I'm being honest, I didn't do it for that. I did it because my buddy makes yummy food.
Oh, didn't you? You had something. I think you had a surprise that you wanted to tell your viewers about.
Tune in to the episode, like the episode, subscribe, and we're going to give away a couple meals to Mr. Macks Meals, like a $50 gift card, maybe like 4 or 5 meals.
We got something coming your way.
Yeah, we'll hash out the deets and let everyone know. I'll cut that.
Yeah.
We'll cut it in post.
Yeah, we'll cut it in post.
Cut it in post, let the people know. We'll do a little giveaway with you, and thanks for doing this, man. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, no, thank you.